Good evening. I call to order this regular meeting of the Verona Township Council for Monday, the 4th of August, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the Public Meetings Act compliance statement?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied with respect to this meeting of the Township Council. The meeting time and date were included in the public meeting notice along with the public internet link and telephone call-in information. Said notice of meeting agenda was posted in the municipal building and sent to the official newspapers of the township, the Verona Bureau of Times, and the Star Ledger at least 48 hours preceding the start time of this meeting. The agenda and handouts can be viewed online at veronanj.org/council meetings. A public comment period will be held in the order it's listed on the meeting agenda, and instructions on how to comment will be provided at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would you call roll?
Councilwoman Holland?
Here.
Councilwoman McGrath?
Here.
Councilman Roman?
Here.
Deputy Mayor McAvoy?
Present.
Mayor Tamburo?
Here.
Mayor also present today is Township Attorney Brian Aloya, Deputy Township Manager, Acting Manager Michael Kraus, myself, Municipal Clerk Jennifer Kiernan.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. For the mayor's report this evening, several items. We have the opportunity to attend the Verona Baseball and Softball League Play It Forward event on probably because weekend's got. Which is a great event to be the last hurrah at the current effort field. And the VBSL is raising money for their contribution to the construction project, which is to build the new announcing booth and concession stand. There is an opportunity, if you'd like to participate in that, to buy a brick. You can check out the Verona Baseball and Softball League website and social media or my social media for information on that. I had the opportunity to introduce the band at summer concert series. I'd like to thank the Verona Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring that additional evening, which is great. It was really a very popular night and very enjoyable. So thank you for the chamber on that. And immediately prior to this meeting, we had the groundbreaking for the new Everett Field. So thank you to everybody involved in that. We had representatives from the Township Council, Lisa Loudon from the Verona Baseball Softball League, Jess Pearson and Sarah Farrell from the Environmental Commission, Carol Thomas from the Shade Tree Commission, Lisa Loudon from the Baseball Softball League. We had former Township Manager Joe Diarco, who helped spearhead the project, as well as John Soares from the Essex County Community Development Grant Program. I appreciate their support, as well as our contractor and engineer. So we did get our shovels in the sand, and we look forward to that project starting, and hopefully the field will be ready to play on for the spring season of 2026. There will be no planning board meeting in the month of August due to lack of quorum. The master plan subcommittee continues to meet as it relates to the affordable housing plan, and had a recent meeting and has another one scheduled. Tomorrow, Tuesday, August 5th, is the National Night Out event, right here at the Verona Civic Center from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. This is sponsored by the Verona Police Department and the Cedar Grove Police Department as a joint effort. You'll have the opportunity to meet our police, our fire, EMS, Public Works, everybody there, get some good food, play some games, and learn more about our emergency services in town. So I look forward to seeing everybody there and strongly recommend everybody attend. Congresswoman Monica McIver's office will be in this room, Town Council Chambers, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Wednesday, August 6th, for constituent relations. Even if you just want to stop in and say hello, I'm sure they would appreciate it. It's great that they do the rotations throughout their towns, and we are happy to host them. On Friday, August 10th at 8:15, August 9th? 8th, sorry. We'll be having our screening of Happy Gilmore 2 at 8:15 in the Verona Civic Center, an outdoor movie. The steps of this building were in the movie, so we are gonna watch the movie next to those steps and see how it goes. My hometown was also in the movie, for a mini golf course. Look forward to seeing that as well. And a reminder that we have a special meeting on August 13th at 5:30 to meet as a committee of the whole with the representatives from the fire department, police department, our architect, to discuss the public safety building, ask questions, and go from there. We don't expect any official action will be taken at the meeting, but it's a time for questions, and of course, like any meeting, there'll be a time for public comment. And that is my report. I have one appointment that will be announcing tonight, which is Kathy Rutherford as alternate 2 for the Verona Shade Tree Commission. We will consider Ms. Rutherford appointed. Thank you for applying to be on this commission. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Mr. Kolstad, being liaison. Ben?
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and I did watch the movie, and I did see the steps of Verona Town Hall. Very nice, and I said to my wife, "Oh, there's the steps. There's the Town Hall of Verona." So, being the liaison, we like to see places in a movie, and it's fun. A couple of things. We have Captain Jack tribute, Billy Joel, Friday, August 8th at Brookdale Park. And then the Theater Rocks, a Broadway review, August 15th at 7:30 p.m. And that's at Eagle Rock Reservation, West Orange. And that will be closing out the summer concert series and fireworks and all the great things happening. Already we're jumping into September. 9/11 is on Thursday from 8 a.m. in the morning, and hopefully everyone can attend. The other thing is that you can look at my phone before. The county executive is having his annual golf outing for the support of the Park Foundation, and that is on Thursday, September 25th. It will be at Francis Byrne, and I will send the clerk a flyer, then she'll know. Hopefully you can send, I heard that I know that you have a few good golfers in the room. So hopefully you can participate. The other thing, and I'll leave this, Tuesday, September 30th from 10 to 2 is our annual Essex County Senior Wellness. If you need transportation or anything from your seniors, we used to supply that. So please have your seniors come out. It's a great day. A lot of health things there, checking blood pressure and other helpful items. I will leave this with you, Madam Clerk, and that's about it. Right. Oh, important thing. They're starting to pave Grove Street this evening. They have done the manhole covers throughout the town and the sewage drainage. So I know I made a call before I got here, and they are starting the pavement. They have done some intersections. I know they did the one come in front of the community center, and they're starting to do the main pavement.
We just thought, I just thought before this meeting that Public Works is going to look into it for the paving, but we really don't want paving to be at the same time as we have the outdoor movie, because that would not be congruent. So
I would suggest
Chuck's going to reach out.
If not, just send me an email at least, and then I'll forward it to Public Works.
Okay, great.
This way with the time and date, and then. But I've seen the movie already, so I don't have to. More than have that.
Well, welcome to your house. Yeah.
More than welcome. Anything else?
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the Township Manager's report, which will be given by the Deputy Manager. Rouse.
Strands Engineering is crafting their public communication plan. We've had 2 meetings, and they have sent a draft that the administration and the public information officer are reviewing. The window replacements, all windows are in. They're working through a few items. They've been in and out cleaning some of the stickers and gunk off of the windows to make sure they look very nice. We did receive our first reimbursement check, for the work that was done to limit water infiltration and, mold. That was $37,000. We have another $12,500 under this claim. The lead abatement was completed and has been sent to the JIF. They are reviewing that cost. They are also reviewing the costs for trailers for the police department when they do move back here. They will be placed, their locker room will be located in their trailer. The costs that they are reviewing right now is the rental of the trailer, setup of the trailer. We're also going to be installing a sidewalk to and from the trailer that we will submit as well. The organic fertilizer, 2 treatments have been applied. GPW reports that while the field looks nice and green, it is covered in weeds and crabgrass all over the place. And also at the community center, we are anticipating the paving and concrete work to be done during the month of August. This is partially to try to get everything done before Eagles games and sports starts at the field, which causes ongoing work cause a big headache. The job opportunities that we are currently looking for include that our additions are building maintenance worker for the community center, and we are re-advertising for an IT director. The first round interviews for director of community services were conducted. We're going to be inviting finalists back towards the end of the month. Part of the second interview will be include questions and data that they are sent a week, 5 days prior to the interview so they can come up with answers. All candidates will be judged on the same questions. The OPEIU contract is on the agenda for this evening. In community services, the summer playground program has been completed. We have one more payroll to go to see what the total salary and wage cost of that was. We will be sending out a survey. Fall registration for programs opens August 19th. And we are looking into changing the field hockey league that our participants play in. There's been some changes. I believe Caldwell left the league we were currently playing in, and there was talks that Montclair or Milburn was going to. The field hockey parents have reached out to this league. They've obtained some information. They also gave us information on fees for the programs, that our fees are quite low compared to other municipalities. The lead law, not many property owners have reached out to schedule inspections or provide certificates that they have been inspected. Since the first mailer, only a 7 or 8% increase in properties that have become compliant. They will be sending a second one out in September, and if people who do fail to address or come into compliance will face fines, penalties. And then in upcoming ordinances, we still have the children's fund that we spoke about. I'm waiting all of the applications for the last 12 months to see. I know Councilwoman McGrath had a question on if 185% means that certain people will not qualify. Public health, we will reach out to Bloomfield to see their availability to come to a meeting. Recreation fees, the administration will look to phase in summer camp fees over a longer period of time to minimize the impact to families and get them used to a higher fee so that we don't shock the system and people can't afford the programs. We'll also look at if there is the discount or the discounted rate if you participate in VE, I believe it is called before. Then 2 that we haven't addressed, site work permits is currently being reviewed, and sidewalk cafes, which is currently under zoning, but the construction code official is the approver. And the sidewalk cafe also requires council approval, which we can discuss if that's something that we want to change or not. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Barros? Councilman Holland?
With regard to
field hockey, so for this season, like, I just wanted to confirm my understanding. They're changing league for this season, or they're exploring that?
Correct, that's what they're exploring. They actually just sent me an email about it,
Like this second?
3 minutes ago.
Okay, to confirm that they are exploring that. 'Cause-
Yes.
Okay, so in your report it said that you've contacted that, but right now, so are they currently without like a schedule and without a league?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. And then with regard to the field hockey fees, saying that they're below where others are, would that be rolled into part of the recreation fee ordinance? Or not? It's field hockey seems to be this hybrid recreation slash parent driven organization. Where do the fees get settled?
I don't believe we've gotten that far with the field hockey fees. They sent a list of about 20 towns.
Okay.
And what the other towns are charging. I know that the current maximum is 100. I think the youngest, say 60 or 70.
It is really cheap.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if it's in the ordinance and if it would be considered as part of that larger fee ordinance. And I guess my other question is about the sidewalk cafes. I'm not familiar with the definition of sidewalk cafes in the zoning ordinance, but is it essentially what we had in COVID, which is like the sidewalk outdoor seating? Is that what a sidewalk cafe is?
That's more outdoor dining, I believe, with
Okay.
this table service out there. A sidewalk cafe is, from my understanding, more like what's outside Bagel Witch, where you can eat your
Just some
some
seating out there?
tables, seating out there. Not where you sit down, if someone comes, takes your order,
Mhm.
that's more outdoor dining.
Okay. So if we are considering any kind of amendments regarding either outdoor dining or sidewalk cafes, I would just ask that we consider that in the context of like our streetscaping along Bloomfield. Just because I think it's lovely to be able to sit outside, and I think it's just a great opportunity. And I think the recommendations about streamlining make sense. I just also want us to consider walkability and making sure that, you know, whatever we're doing with our streetscaping and is consistent with sidewalk cafes or outdoor dining, so that we aren't creating an issue with walkability on sidewalk.
Of course, and the streetscape was actually what triggered the conversation. They had asked in their renderings if we had sidewalk cafes, because they had them in their renderings, so that's what caused us to look into it a little bit further.
Great, I think it's good. That should be complimentary.
Councilman McGrath.
Thank you. So on the paving on the community center specifically, I know that there's concerns from the neighborhood traffic and safety committee, and they were raised by staff members who came to our meetings about the safe crossage of walking of children and parents from the new playground to their cars in front of the building. So is that going to be addressed in the paving and with signage, with a crosswalk, with maybe even they talked about possibly a raised crosswalk there? Or can we get follow-up information on that?
My understanding is there's gonna be at least signage and a crosswalk, but I will get follow-up information for you.
And I think if that can be sent to the chairs of there's co-chairs for the neighborhood traffic and safety committee, that would be great. They don't meet until September, so if this paving's gonna happen quickly, just to keep them informed about it. That would be great, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none. We move on to our council member reports, Deputy Mayor Meister.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to remind everybody, Sustainable Verona has a program. They started a program with Steel Energy for a whole house energy audit for residents of Verona. The audit costs $49. You can get up to $6,000 off of any upgrades you perform. It's 50% of what you can pay. So if you pay $12,000 for upgrades, AC, heat, hot water heaters, insulation, you can get $6,000 back. It's a program through public service. The Sustainable now is going from that to commercial buildings. And they had a breakfast this past Tuesday and brought in representatives to some of the building owners in Verona that could make it. Obviously, it was in August, but They plan on doing another breakfast sometime in late September or early October for other building owners, but it's an even better program for building owners. You can get up to 80% of what you pay for upgrades refunded to you. So you have any interest in this? We have a meeting on Wednesday night. Sustainable does at 7 o'clock at the community center. So join us if you have questions, or reach out to Sustainable Verona through the town's website. Moving on, summer concerts are going great. We've had great turnout. This past week was at the pool. I'd like to thank the pool staff for their work that night. It was a perfect night to be at the pool because it was very hot and very humid. So you can listen to music while you're splashing about the pool, and it kept the pool open late that night. So it was nice, and I thank that staff, along with buildings and grounds, who keep our pool looking great. The mayor mentioned tomorrow night's National Night Out. Join us here. Wednesday night is that meeting, and Thursday the Chamber of Commerce is having a meet and greet at the Verona Inn from 5:30 to 7:30, and we welcome any business owners in Verona who would like. It's a good networking group that has been together. I think we're up to 65 members. So we've been growing for the last year, and we're doing very well. We also have a t-shirt fundraiser for $20. You can help support the chamber, which then gives back, such as a concert in the summer. So I believe that is just a rescheduled concert that got rained out this summer is rescheduled for September 9th. So after Labor Day, the New Power and Soul will be in the Civic Center here. So we get to hang out again in September. And that is, I'm going to mention the groundbreaking. I got to mention the process of going through getting Everett Field done and plans was a very long and detailed process. So I'd like to thank the BBSL and all the other organizations that helped out and gave their opinions on it. The event that BBSL had last week, the Play It Forward event, was very successful. They had a lot of people out. It was, again, a beautiful day, and they had a lot of people that went there and supported them. And they, as the mayor mentioned, will be having other fundraisers to chip into the building of this new field. We look forward to it.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Moore.
Thank you. Just wanted to comment first off on the council and ballroom AV upgrades. I was able to send final comments through to the township. Want to appreciate the township manager and deputy township manager getting responses on those. I'm very satisfied with what the contractor is proposing. They're actually going to be giving us a newer generation of the equipment that was proposed at no additional cost because the one that was originally there is going into life. But we'll have things like monitors in front of us so that we can see the other end of presentations and Zoom calls. Same thing for the ballroom, larger monitors on carts so the public can see. And the other thing I'm very excited about that's going into this is assisted listening systems at both sites. So if anyone has difficulty hearing or wears hearing aids, the system will have receivers that will pipe the audio into your hearing aids, which at planning board meetings has been a very large issue for people sitting in the back of the room. So just wanted to say thank you to the administration for all the work that's going into that. Look very much forward to seeing those deployed. Same comments on Everett Field. There's also the BBSL event, which is fantastic, as well as the groundbreaking tonight. I'm very glad to see this facility getting a much needed upgrade. It is going to be a showpiece as you come into town, and we got all the life out of that field that we possibly could. So it's very much time, and a lot of appreciation to the township and the BBSL and the other organizations for helping make this possible. And also happy birthday to Councilwoman McGrath. Had one after our last meeting, and also Councilman McAvoy, Deputy Mayor McAvoy. So thanks to everybody enjoying. And that's my report this evening.
Councilwoman McGrath.
Thank you. Mayor, in new business, I want to talk about appointments to boards and committees. So if we can discuss it, that would be great. Unfortunately I was out of town for the BBSL event, but not for tonight's groundbreaking. Obviously I'm really excited about this field. finally getting to fruition. And I want to thank BPSL for their partnership. They really did make a lot of concessions to make to assist in getting to yes, and I really do thank them for that. I want to thank the administration for organizing once again the mobile motor vehicles van in Verona, which was a great birthday present for me. 2 weeks ago, as I was able to snag an appointment for my son to get a real ID. Lots of people were pouring in to hand in old license plates and to get their real IDs. They were quite busy, and it's a great service that the state offers to bring the DMV directly to our communities. I'm excited about Congresswoman McIver's office coming this week, and I want to echo what the mayor said, which is you can stop by if you have an issue with a federal agency, or you can just stop by to give her staff feedback on anything that is happening, or just to meet them. They're really a great resource, and I do appreciate that she's been rotating through all of her towns and has come to Verona several times already. I do want to ask the administration, we got an email from a resident on Sunset Avenue about some flooding after those high rain events that we had in the last 2 weeks, and he sent videos. And I know that the mayor is well aware of this since he lives next door to the golf course, but we really do need an action plan and need to pick this back up on what are the things that Montclair Golf Club is doing to address flooding off of their property and all of the tree removal over the last decade and the impact it's had on our residents. So if we can, add that to, one of the project streams, that would be great. While we put in a fix in that corner by Sunset, clearly from the video, it was overwhelmed in the last events, and we need to see if we can do more. So that would be great. And that's actually my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hall.
Thank you. As we are in August, I think it's really worthwhile to acknowledge just the weather in general, the heat of the summer, as much as it's great for us to enjoy the amenities like the Verona Community Pool. It's really important for residents to be mindful of heat-related illnesses and also the impacts of climate change. And so as a utility and environmental attorney, I think folks have realized by now that I'm relatively passionate about infrastructure improvements. And while we've made progress to address flooding in town, I do agree with Councilwoman McGrath's statements that she just made, that there is more work that needs to be done. We've, even most recently approved various capital improvements that would be addressing climate change as well. But with the increasing intensity of storms due to climate change, flash flooding is still going to be a very real issue in our community. We are a valley town, and while the Peckman River appears to be a charming brook most of the time, it can become a very raging river. So I do want to urge residents to be mindful of the watches and warnings, because watches can very quickly turn into flash flood warnings, and our town can be split in half by the Peckman River. Cars can get swept away by the Peckman River. It has happened. It did in 2018, just upstream from us. And so I think it's really important for residents to be aware of flash flood safety concerns. The recent rains we have were not as devastating as we've seen in 2018 or 2021, but that doesn't mean that there won't be further storms this summer and into September that could be very challenging. So I just want to urge everybody to stay safe, both with heat-related concerns and heat-related illness, and in any kind of extreme weather event, such as flash flooding. I would also just like to acknowledge the groundbreaking this evening for Everett Field. I am particularly thrilled about that project moving forward. I joined the Recreation Advisory Committee as a liaison 4 years ago, and one of the first topics of discussion was what were we going to do about Everett Field, and I quickly learned that residents had been talking about Everett Field improvements for well over a decade, and that they felt like no meaningful progress was being made. So I'm so grateful to have been able to work with those passionate individuals on the rec advisory committee, to work with a dedicated administration, acknowledging former township manager Joe DiArco's contributions to it. And it was really lovely that he was able to come out tonight to be part of that groundbreaking and to really move this forward in the last 4 years. And so while it did involve a number of meetings to get us to tonight's groundbreaking, I think ultimately we made more progress in these last 4 years than had been made in decades to address that necessary recreation infrastructure improvement. And like I said at the beginning of this, I'm very passionate about infrastructure improvement. I'm really glad that we could do that for our community. And I think it'll be great for generations to come. And it is a beautiful contribution to our Bloomfield Avenue streetscape. So essentially when people are coming into town, they'll get to see this crown jewel of our community. So I'm very grateful for that, and grateful for all of the support from residents and the community at large. Thank you.
Let's want to open up for comments on this item, as we do not have any ordinances on the event tonight. Any public comment from the gallery? Any public comments on Zoom? Sure.
Do you want me to read?
Oh, sorry.
Do you want me to? No?
Yeah, I think we have to. Just give us 1 minute, Cory.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any matter, if you're attending via Zoom, please raise your hand by pressing the raise hand button on your monitor. If you're dialing in by phone, press *9. And if you are attending in person, please raise your hand to be acknowledged before approaching the lectern. Once you're recognized, clearly state only your name and township of residence for record. You're not required to provide your street address. However, if you do, please note that these meeting recordings are a public record and addresses will not be redacted for any purpose. You'll have 4 minutes to address the council, and there can be no cross dialogue during this public portion. After everyone wishing to speak has been heard, the council may address your comments and or questions.
Thank you, Mr. Short.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Town Council. I just want to, on this particular area, I just want to comment quickly on the registration process for the recreation for the fall, and it's basically the last previous years. The committee has felt, and personally I feel, that the registration process is just way too short. We understand that there has been some vacancies within the community service department, but it opens up August 19th for programs that are September 8th. I know personally I'm planning stuff out October, November already, so we really feel, and I've been chair for about 2.5 years of the rec committee, and the process has not changed at all. And we have made multiple comments in committee sessions saying that we prefer 60 days prior to a session starting, and then marketing maybe 15 days prior to that. So we really like to see some sort of changes happen with the registration process, so that the fall season, the winter season, the summer season is advertised properly, and that residents have enough time to plan out their programs throughout the fall season, or the spring season, or the summer season. So I have other comments, but I'll speak about it because it's on agenda public time. But thank you very much.
You're welcome to address those now, so if you want. We're going to be doing that in 10 seconds, so if you want to.
Okay. So my second issue is and everybody got my email on the Adult Swim. For me personally, this is not the committee. This is me personally saying that at this time, it's not required. There are plenty of times when adults can swim 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, during the weekends. The lap lanes, there's multiple lap lanes. I see a lot of times adults not swimming laps, and that's fine, that's great. And I think there should be space where adults have where they can't be splashed. But in very busy times on Friday and Saturday, 5 o'clock, when parents are getting home, taking their kids to the pool, going into the shallow end, really not the greatest time to be doing that on either a Friday or Saturday night. It's not personal, it's just when we get there, we'd like to be able to have our kids be able to go into the shower and the pool. It's not gonna be 15 minutes, it's gonna be 20, 25 minutes. And I know it's a pilot program, but a lot of times it's just gonna be a very difficult period. I suggest alternatives and a process. Let it go through the recreational committee. Let us talk about it. For an alternative, for example, is let's create a space within the lanes or above the lane or behind the lane where we can have enough space where adults can go in and not be splashed. I talked about a little bit in my email about my child, and he's autistic, and I had to go do a lot of sessions in the morning away from the crowd. And why can't special education kids or special needs kids have the same courtesies that adults do at that time period? I just think there's a better way of doing this. I think you can do this, but I just think this particular option is not the best option. And I say this with the most respect in the world to everybody that goes to the community pool. Just let's pick a better time frame. Let's think about it a little bit more and then come out maybe next summer and have that space. But otherwise, that's my comments are, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Anybody else? Or public comments?
Oh, boy.
Mr. Petrangelo.
Tragically, Verona. I'll be quick, basically, I don't have much. I just want to say, awesome job on Everett. It's about time. I remember 2 years ago, I had not longer, my 10U team up here, and now we're moving to 14U softball. So I think that's amazing, and how much work has been put into that. And let's remember that when the first pitch goes out and whose team plays first. The water inspection, at the residents' homes. I talked to Kevin a few meetings back, and we suggested that basically I have two other homes. Well, I have two other residents in other towns, and we did the same exact thing. And we just did it by take a photo and email it. It didn't cost us, the town, anything to mail out anything. We didn't pay an employee to go out anywhere. It was just a lot easier. He just responded with great idea. I'll look into it. Nothing further. I think you'll get more people responding if they can just take a photo themselves instead of schedule for 5 minutes their whole day for somebody walking in their house and say, yeah, it's not lead. This week is the police and fire building. I'm not going to make it, unfortunately, so you won't hear my public comment. But I just wanted to say one thing about that, and that's the windows on the design on the front of the building. In my type of work in construction, windows are the most expensive thing to do. And then you have to upkeep those windows. So they're on the second floor of that building. So I just hope we have window cleaning and everything else put in place for that, because that's going to cost us money over the years. Just a quick thing, try to save money. And otherwise, that's it. Hope you guys are enjoying your summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Anybody else? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. Mr. Shore, I agree with you on the registration piece for the fall programs. It does seem like a short interval to register, so perhaps we can hear back from the township administration on, or maybe that might be a great question to ask our candidates for the director of community services position, what they think a reasonable time for registration is, and see if we can make a quicker turnaround on that. But I agree that that may not be entirely reasonable for that. As far as the pool piece, I'll save my comment on that until the consent agenda. To Mr. Petrangelo, thank you for emailing Mr. O'Sullivan on your idea with the water inspection, and also for bringing up the point about the windows. That is a concept plan, so it's not, there are no architectural diagrams or anything like that. So all of those things can be taken in, but that is a great question to get brought up to our architect next week. And we'll see how that goes. And there may be a design reason for that we would like to hear. So certainly, I am in favor of more traditional looking building anyway. That would not have a big glass window front because it doesn't look to the neighborhood. And I have articulated that. That's something that I will be bringing in as well, just to have something that fits in a little bit better to, that looks more like the buildings on, in that area. I mean, there's an eclectic mix of architecture in that area. But more like that office building on the same side of the street is what I'm kind of looking for. That looks like the community center, that looks like everything else looks like this building, so. Any other council comments, responses, thoughts? All right. At this point, we are moving to the consent agenda. One set of minutes and 19 resolutions. Does anybody need to pull any item?
One that I'll just mention is L6. I live about 250 feet away from that property and, not immediately adjacent to one of the lines.
So do you want to pull it?
I just asked Mr. Aloy after that he confirmed with me, so I don't know or not.
Without more information, I have to be able to research it and count
Why-
my opinion anyway, so
why
I
don't-
don't pull it.
Why don't we just
You're
pull it?
far enough away.
I am, it's on the other side.
You're on the other side of Savah, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, we'll leave it. I'll vote on it.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Is- Yes, council?
Well, I know that we just indicated, that we discussed further number 18, which is the adult swim pilot, so I don't know if that should be pulled. But I would also like to pull 19 for a separate vote.
Anybody else?
I concur, we should pull 18 for a separate discussion, so thank you.
All right, so you're asking to pull 18 and someone was asked to pull 19. All right. So somebody please make a motion on K1, L1 through 17. Motion made by the.
Do we have to-
Motion's made by the deputy mayor. Is there a second? Second. Second is made by Councilman Roman. This time. It's public comment
I didn't
on
get that.
the consent agenda. The same public comment statements up loud.
We didn't hold on.
We do need comment on the consent agenda. We're also going to comment on items 18 and 19 now, so we don't have to do multiple public comment sessions. So if anybody has any public comment on any of the items listed on the agenda, please bring that forward at this time. Okay, so hearing no public comment on K1 or L1 through L19.
No,
Close
17.
by doing public comment on all of them
Oh,
at
we're
once,
doing
so we
public.
don't have to open them. Again, we can vote separately, but we don't have to have 3 different votes.
Roll call vote.
All right, closing public comment.
Okay.
Any council discussion on K1 or L1 through L17?
Mayor, if I may, I'm
Yeah.
just number them,
What's that?
just to number them for the record. That L1 through L17 will be numbered resolution 2025-179 through and including 2025-095. I mean -195.
We haven't voted on it yet, so. we're-
But you didn't.
We haven't adopted them yet, so yeah.
Was the motion before for pulling the resolutions or for moving the consent?
Moving the consent agenda.
Okay.
Plus those 2 items. So
Okay,
K1, L1 through L7. And then they will be those numbers if we.
I'll say it again.
Adopt. Any council discussion on those items? Councilwoman. Grab.
Yes, I just wanted to point out on L9, that I drove past the property in the tree clearing. So.
Okay.
So sorry, I didn't pull it earlier. I raised it with administration or with, Ms. Kieran, because I was just asking, is this the right one? But the tree was removed today, so. It's a lot.
So the zoning is acting on it.
Yes.
I just want to make sure everyone knows that.
I mean, the minimum I would pull it, revise the resolution to indicate that.
Yeah, I would pull
But
it.
it's ex post facto.
Yeah.
So
Now factually, the resolution's wrong, right? I think that was correction they've already done,
yeah.
which is, I don't say fine, it's clearly wrong, not the procedure that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But assuming the council's gonna pass it, they should say that.
Well, before I vote on this, I'd like to know why it was removed before we vote on it. So I think that's a fair point. And now that the tree is removed. There's no rush. There's no rush, so.
We have-
But we table it.
Oh.
just come back to the next meeting after administrative review.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. the revise the motion.
Go
I
ahead.
think Deputy Mayor Kraus has something.
Deputy manager?
Deputy Manager.
Michael?
We found out today, that the tree was removed. There was a DPW employee that went there with the arborist who stated it was a hazard. There was a miscommunication and the tree was removed before the permit was granted. That the tree was removed in line with the zoning officer and the arborist recommendations before the council's recommendation. We're still looking into everything that happened, and if any procedures were violated, which there probably were, the contractor will receive some type of notification or warning of that.
Thank you. So, do we have a motion to revise the original motion and pull number 9? Or do we want this to continue if anybody wants to make a motion?
I think I'll make the motion.
Did you make your original motion?
I made the original.
Okay, so you're gonna make the motions to.
Pull L.
Alright, so you're gonna move now, you're revising the motion to move A1, L1 through L8. And L
10 through 17.
10 through 17, so now the numbers are different for those last ones. Alright,
Do we need to vote on pulling it or no? You just
No.
make a motion?
we'll move to table that. Because we're taking no action on it technically, right, so we'll move to table that once we get done passing. Sorry, the current items. Alright, could we have a roll call vote, Mrs. Kiernan, on K1, L1 through L8, L10 through L17?
Councilwoman Holland,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGrath,
Yes.
Councilman Roman,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McAvoy,
Yes.
Mayor Tamboro.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor, L1 through L8 will be numbered 179 through and including 186. 10 through 17 will be numbered 87 through 94. 194.
Alright, I'll hear a motion to table resolution L9. Motion's made by Councilman McGrath, is there a second?
Second.
Second is by Councilman Roman, this is a non-debatable motion. We'll just do a hand vote, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Do I hear a motion to, adopt resolution L18, which is the pilot adult swim program?
Can we discuss first?
We have to have a motion in order to discuss, or we can move to new business.
But my only question I'm asking is, what if we revise this?
So why don't we move it to new business, discuss a new business, and then. Okay, so. I'm just gonna move that to new business, I don't think we need a motion on that necessarily, so we're just gonna do that, okay. Do I hear a motion on L19, which is the OPEIU contract? Motion made by Councilman Norman, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second is made by the deputy mayor. Discussion on this item. I did have one point of discussion. The collective bargaining process is not easy for either side of the table. I do this as a career. It's never easy for management, nor is it easy for the majority representative or the union. But I am glad that the parties were able to collaborate and come up with a fair agreement. And one that demonstrates the township's appreciation of our white collar and blue collar staff, our police dispatchers, public works, all of our township office staff. And I'm glad that we don't have to do it for another couple of years. So thank you, Mr. O'Sullivan and Mr. Kraus for negotiating for the public education. Council does not sit in on the negotiations. The council approves or denies the collective bargaining agreement proposal once it comes forward. Any other discussion on that item? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Holland,
Abstain.
Councilwoman McGrath,
Yes.
Councilman Roman,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McAvoy,
Yes.
Mayor Tamboro.
Yes.
Mayor, Resolution 2020, Resolution L 19 will be number 2025-195 and passes 4-0 with one exception.
Thank you. We have no licenses or permits, nor do we have an addendum this evening. Open discussion on the adult swim pilot program. Deputy Mayor, Councilwoman, who would like to start that discussion?
I have just a quick, after. Sure, the reservation about the time, or it's lots of 5 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock, probably a busy time. What a time for you, once you're on 4.
Any other council, what's that plan? Councilman McGrath.
I just want to say at our last meeting, we agreed to pilot this and I believe we said, you know, we would try it out twice. The way this is written, we're trying it out multiple times. We're effectively changing the pool rules. So, you know, I'm in favor of trying adult swim once or twice. So not something this extensive. So, I mean, that's, you know, where my thought process is can we just try it, you know, mid-afternoon on 2 Saturdays? And what I would like to see is surveying. So I would like to see that there are paper surveys and a QR code to an electronic survey that's on site. So that as people are leaving the pool, they're encouraged to fill out the survey on the adult swim that just happened. Because I would like to get feedback at that moment for people who actually experience it, both adults who were able to utilize it and the parents who had to wrangle their kids outside of the pool, and how did that experience go? And I want to capture real-time feedback. We can certainly do feedback surveys on it at the end of the season, but I would like the administration to promise that they're going to survey at that moment. So those are where I'm kind of sitting with changing the pool rules on Adult Swim. I think we agreed to test it out twice for the rest of it, not weekly, which is really just changing the pool rules. And we wanted to pilot it, so that's where my thoughts are. Thank you.
Councilwoman.
I agree that this appears to be a change of the pool rules instead of just like a pilot. That is really more of a test. It does have this essentially going into effect starting this upcoming weekend and through Labor Day weekend. So that is the remainder of the pool season. It doesn't otherwise have any of the traditional features of a pilot, which would include things like feedback surveys and actually testing, right? Like the whole point of a pilot is to experiment with something, see how it goes before you implement it. This appears to be implementing it and then under the auspices of it being a pilot. I also really appreciate the resident feedback. Mr. Shore has put a lot of time in the rec advisory committee into exploring different opportunities at the pool. And I think he raises a valid point that if we wanted to test this, that's fine, but it really is something that should be vetted by the Recreation Advisory Committee that has put a lot of time into it. I also personally do have concerns about accessibility. Mr. Shore referenced his autistic son, but I do think that clearing the pool can take a decent amount of time leading up to that 15 minutes, and that if there aren't other accommodations for families, that could be challenging. So if we are going to do it, I think the 2 times offered of 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. are probably less ideal. It might be better to have 1 time and maybe have it a compromise of like a 3 p.m. and have that coupled with rec tent activities for the children that just were that just vacated the pool, so that there is some other activity for them to do at the pool during that time period. That I think that would make the transition easier, and I think that's an opportunity to showcase some of the other amenities at the pool. I also question whether or not it needs to be the shallow end and the 4 lap lanes, or if it makes sense for it to be the lap lanes and the deep end of the pool as it is the adult swim time. And whether or not the shallow end of the pool could still be reserved for families, and so that the lap lanes and the deep end of the pool can be reserved for adults during that period. We would then not have children going down the slides or using the diving boards at that time. It could be more of an adult area. I think that would also make it easier for the transition to the adult swim if we kept the current times. So those are some of my thoughts. I do appreciate the residents that signed the petition that was referenced. I do appreciate the municipal clerk's time, going through those signatures. But I would also welcome getting a broader context and more feedback from pool members about this. So I do think running this as a pilot is very worthwhile.
Thank you. If nobody has an objection, or Mr. Stein has an objection, as a pool manager, Walter, did you want to comment on the timing?
Can I go?
Objections?
Sure.
You can.
I understand Mr. Shore's interpretations about that, but we've had to clear the pool 3 or 4 times, and I've been there 3 for what we call a code brown, where you have to clear the pool because somebody has.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. That we think able to clear in 3 minutes. So to blow the whistles and get everybody out, I don't think it would be a problem. If we wanted to have it at 1 and 4, that would be fine, but 2 and 5 is what was dedicated to that period of time that Mr. Jan would like to do it. But there's no problem with us. I can go around the pool at that time and tell everybody we're going to do it in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just have the children. The rec committee has the rec tent is open at that period of time. Up until 5 o'clock. We could keep it open just a little bit longer, just for 15 minutes after 5 o'clock. So that's fine. I have no problem with it.
I mean, just listening to the back and forth, I do think the 1 to 4 p.m. would be the better. And then maybe we should just take the Labor Day weekend out because we know that's a crowded weekend.
We could just approve it for August 22nd and 23rd, is the day pop at the Friday, Saturday. 22nd,
Or do the 1 weekend that's on here and then the weekend before Labor.
And
So we do 2 a Friday, Saturday this weekend, and then the Friday, Saturday the 3rd weekend.
I think our original intent was to do it 2-day poplar, right next to it was asked.
Right.
So my suggestion is that we go for August 22nd, 23rd, which would give time to communicate this to the public so everybody knows and make plans. And we do 1 o'clock and the full clock. Just because I tend to agree that 5 o'clock gets into when people are constantly from work. And see about that, and then or we could do 1 to 4 on the 1 day and 1 and 4 on 1 day and 2 and 5 on another, and just see how it works out. If we're really piloting, we might as well do 2 options. Maybe that's a better option. Do 1 and 4 o'clock on Friday and 2 and 5 o'clock on Saturday, because Saturday people aren't going to work, they're coming home, right? So we could try that out. Anybody have any objection proceeding in that manner?
I kind of agree that this should be a limited pilot. If again, this does sound like just changing pool rules all the way throughout, so that I like the idea of just basically picking 2 days with 2 different time sets and see what happens, and then gathering feedback. Again, this is just totally to see how this goes, and then go back and make changes or potentially implement. I just think we're so late in the pool season that really making this a permanent change at this point in time, didn't make sense.
So we still have to change the full rules just because that is it. So I'll make that action just because I brought it up. Good. Yeah.
I just wanted confirmation from the deputy township manager that the administration will have a survey ready to go for the weekend that we're talking about and have both paper copies and electronic, like scannable QR codes so that we can get real-time feedback? Is that something that the administration can commit to?
I'll work with the public information officer this week to set it up.
Okay, because I think that real-time feedback is gonna be really key. Instead of people chiming in who weren't at school on these days. So I would like to see that feedback as a standalone.
All right, so I'm gonna move that we change the, we amend. Rain dates, just in case. We'll put rain dates in.
I mean, that's why I kind of proposed 2 different weekends, because what, you know, that last weekend, a lot of people are bringing their kids to college. And so you're gonna have a lot of people not there on the 22nd and the 23rd, I think.
So we wanna start.
2 weekends in a row, or that's why I kind of wanted to.
We still have-
The
we
8th,
still
not,
have-
and then the 22nd.
2 weeks, okay, so, go ahead, Council.
I do, well, I understand that, I do object that, I just think that's a lot of testing. So again, I thought we were only testing it twice, so now we're saying we're testing 4 times, then if we expand to another weekend, testing it 8 times.
So I
So
think the point was to do 2 earlier days, and if one of those rained out, do it.
that's fine if that's how we're doing, as long as we're limiting how many times we're testing.
All right, let me see if I can bring this all together for everybody. All right, I'm going to move that on L18. That we change the 1 to the 5th whereas. All right, to read. Whereas to confirm interest in the Adult Swim period, the pilot program will be implemented on Friday, August 15th. At 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and Saturday, August 16th at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. If it rains on one of those days and the time is not available, the pilot will be conducted on August 22nd or 23rd, and then change the now therefore be resolved to read in the same language that the Township Council, Township of Verona. The full rules shall be amended to include 15-minute adult swim periods at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock on August 15th, and at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. on August 16th, and the same times on August 22nd or 23rd in the event of a rain in the preceding week. Is there a second? Second. The councilman seconds it. Any discussion on L18? And since we've amended the resolution, I will call public comment on this. If anybody would like to comment, same public comment statement applies on the amended resolution. What's else?
I think we should say if the pool closes, if the pool's closed. It's rain.
Yeah, that's stuff.
You okay with that?
Sales.
I just don't want anybody to pick it.
Time and attention that can be given to this, with my intent for all the Swiss neighbors to have it implemented for say like, Friday. We always wanted a test to see how it went over, so, I appreciate the fact that that appears to be the direction it's going, because I never wanted to see it, implemented willy-nilly without any more, and the times, if you thought at that time, 1 to 4, or 1 and 4 and 2 and 5, that I have no issue, whatever time would work for everybody. But, that was what I really wanted to say, that, I was looking for a beta test, not a full-blown implementation, so thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further comments, Madam Clerk, I'll close public comment, and would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Holland,
As amended, yes.
Councilwoman McGrath,
Yes,
Councilman Roman,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McAvoy,
Yes.
Mayor Tamboro.
Yes.
Mayor, this resolution will be numbered. What are we at? 196.
Yes. 196. Things a little out of order today. All right, we're on this new one, finish this yet again, Councilman Ray, you want to bring up appointments?
Yes, I want to thank our municipal clerk, Chris Kiernan, for reminding us that we have several open positions on boards and committees. She sent us an email update on July 29th. And I just wanted to go through them as I look through her email. So that maybe we can get some appointments on our calendar for our next meeting and certainly by early September. So on the planning board, we unfortunately, due to the passing of a member, have an opening. Now, it is our process on the planning board when we have an opening to promote up alternate number 1 into that seat. Now, there are 4 people who apply to the planning board, but our normal process would be that they would be selected then for an alternate position. So on the planning board, I just wanted to have a conversation to confirm what is our process going to be to fill that seat, and can that seat get filled at the next meeting, so that we can kind of resolve that issue. And maybe the municipal clerk can confirm, the council makes that appointment, but for the alternates, do we appoint those as well? No, she's shaking her
I'm
head
sorry,
no.
isn't it you with the, I need to check, but right now it's the mayor appoints the alternates with council approval,
I think that's the zoning board.
but it would be,
I think just confirm, I seem to
Yep,
recall.
yep.
you can discuss, I'll just look.
The planning board, I believe, is council appointment.
I know, but
And then, yeah, it's.
I thought it was land use, so I,
Alternates on zoning. Planning board is a council.
That's what I thought as well, Mayor. So, my suggestion, since we have so many, and it's amazing, there were so many people interested in the planning board, is that we follow our past procedure. We appoint, alternate number 1 becomes a full member, alternate number 2 becomes alternate number 1. And then, that we all, by certain dates, send Ms. Kiernan our vote for who we think should get the planning board appointment. And if a candidate receives three or more votes, then that's the person who should be appointed. If not, I would suggest that we ask the municipal clerk to write everyone who applied for the planning board, and then we can have a conversation in closed session at our next meeting, or on the meeting in early September if there's flexibility. Obviously, it's really important with all the work that we have going on that we fill this planning board seat. There are other seats that are open, so I'll finish all of my comments. The green team, we have 2 openings, we have 2 candidates, so that one seems pretty straightforward. For the environmental committee, we have 3 candidates, and we need 1. One of those candidates also applied to sustainable, so we really have 2 candidates for 1. And again, if we all vote on which candidate we want, if someone gets 3 or more votes, then we could have just appoint them at the next meeting. So I would love to move forward, with the next meeting, or certainly by early September, and get these things filled, because we hear sustainable doing a lot of great work. I'm sure they could use 2 more people. The environmental commission's missing this slot. We have a lot of important work to do in the fall. So that's the conversation I'd like to have.
So just, I think going back to how you've done appointments, since I've been mayor, is that we do them in the open. So we have a conversation. I don't agree with emailing the township clerk our votes, because just like any other business, the public has the right to know what we're doing, why we're making appointments. So once again, I'm happy to do it soon. The next meeting, or I think the planning board doesn't meet until the 15th of September, so we actually have 2 meetings between now and then.
special meeting.
So we can do proper vetting on both. So on that appointment, I think that's how you do it. But I encourage the council members to call each other and talk to each other if they have candidates, and really have a conversation about qualifications and about what you see in a candidate. I hope the council members talk to every person who applied, and move forward on that as well. And that's the piece that I think is important as well. So I don't necessarily agree with putting email vote in, but just like anything else, we appoint by by vote. Anybody have any comments? Councilman Brown?
I just wanna counter that, listen, these are volunteers and, you know, we kind of signed up for a lot of public review and scrutiny. We all ran for office, and so that's part of the deal that we made to get elected and reelected. But these are volunteers, so looking to help out with the town. When we talk about these appointments, it's not about secrecy, but it's about just discretion. You're publicly on record recording, well, I prefer this person and that person when we have split votes or just or conversations. I just think it's a little awkward. And that's why in the past, it's not that it's secrecy and about, obviously anyone can Oprah our emails and see, you know, who we supported, but it's just about like protecting a little bit the image, like, and the people who are applying, like, it's not like it's a little bit more of a gentle way of doing it by emailing. It's not about like, it's not meant to be nefarious. It's just about, you know, they put them, you know, they've asked to volunteer, but to have a public conversation on who's more qualified is a little, I think it's a little much for the volunteers. And to encourage more people to apply, you know. So
I see your thoughts. I think we've done it this way for over 2 years now. And we haven't had a problem. I think what it does is encourage council members to talk to each other about offline about who they believe are the most qualified candidates. But really, we have two circumstances where that's an issue. It encourages everybody to talk to the actual candidates, which is something that wasn't always happening, and go through and then have conversations about that. So you don't necessarily have to discuss the ins and outs of who you're and why you think somebody is qualified or not qualified in public, but it does get down to a split vote. There should be a conversation. The public has the right to know why council members are voting a certain way. That is part of the public process, and I would counter that by all of the business that these committees are doing is being done in public, and every committee member is subject to public scrutiny. So especially for the planning board, which is in many ways the policy-making body within the township. So I would tend to disagree on that. But if the members of the council want to share their thoughts on that, I really don't agree with emailing and doing that, because then you get in a situation where we might not have a forum on or an agreement on that, and you still have that discussion, or it's constantly going back, and you get into the Public Meetings Act issue where we're emailing the clerk all separately, and she's telling us like this isn't having really conducting business offline, which is not what we should be doing. It's not fair to the public. So that's what we're trying to avoid. But I think we've been able to make planning board appointments before, and appointments to all the committees by putting on the agenda, having a vote. And as a matter of fact, we've been doing it this way well prior. I don't think we've taken an email vote since I've been on the council.
Right, we have, I don't know if it's, well, I'm pretty sure that we've done it with the emailing a ranker.
Yeah, I think that was,
not during your time as mayor, but I think that while you were on the council, we actually have done it as that. I can kind of see both sides of this. I very much appreciate, you know, how much you're interested in transparency and seeing everything that we're discussing, but I am also a little bit sensitive to people that, you know, put their names forward for this. You know, I kind of feel like it's worked all right in the past where we've emailed that ranker, and if there's a clear, you know, if someone's got three, you know, if I would say if someone's like number one from three people, then you just put them on as a, you know, as an appointment on the, you know, I don't want people to get voted down by the council for volunteerships in public.
yeah, that's just,
well, sometimes that happens when you have disagreement, but anyway, it can happen with any of the things. So I would say that if you know majority comfortable doing that we should do councilman Threats. Other suggestion, which is to rise everybody and have a discussion in closed session, and people are more comfortable with that, because we really need to talk about people's qualifications and why we're choosing for committees, because that is an important part of determining what the future of this town is, and doing that in a vacuum without having that conversations back and forth is very concerning to me, and it should be concerning to the public as well.
I'm also, if I may, I'm also okay with doing that. We've done that in the past where, you know, where we have, you know, we have had that closed session discussion where we talk it out, we try and, I mean, when we hire our township manager, this is how we do this. You know, we,
But everyone understands there still has to be a vote in public.
and there will be.
Which is all I was saying in the first place, is that I wanted the council members to discuss that you all took a different direction, which is that we're gonna have a debate in public. But I want the council members to really talk to each other, and if we do that in closed session, that's fine. I think the council members are totally capable of talking not in closed session, but at the same point, if we want to do it in closed, that's fine. But at the same, understand that if we may not get to a unanimous decision, even if we do it in closed session, so there's still could be a point where you don't have a vote in public. So all the same things are happening. I think you all took it as different what I was saying, which was fine, but at that point, there would still be the potential for debate on the qualification of the candidate if people made a motion to approve. So it could all end up in the same thing, which is adding a step, which is fine. So my recommendation is we talk about these in closed session at the next meeting, and we do the appointments in September. And that way,
Great.
we're all done. The appointment for historic preservation will be on the next agenda. I thought I only had the Shade Tree Commission for this time around. Because that's the mayor's appointment is historic preservation. So we can put that on. Actually, I'm just gonna make that. I hereby appoint Tina Schwartz to the Historic Preservation Commission. All right.
Wait, can I ask 2 questions?
Yes.
Okay. When, like I just got an application for, a committee yesterday. So should there be a cutoff or should I just keep distributing to you while you guys,
Why isn't the cutoff now? So anything got yesterday, please.
okay,
What-
thank you.
Look, it wasn't historic preservation.
It was not.
Okay, we're good. There we go. All right.
And just for the record, I'm sorry, I apologize, planning board, because the alternates are class 4. Class 4s are all voted by the governing body. So you're correct.
And there is something interesting to note for council's education in when I was writing through the planning board requirements that alternates 1 and 2 actually rotate voting. It's not like alternate number 1 does not always vote if there is a
Yeah, we have to.
if somebody is out, it's not always alternate number 1 that votes. They're labeled 1 and 2, but they actually rotate who votes at each meeting if there's somebody out, which is fun. I did talk to the planning board attorney about that to clarify that based on our ordinance and state law. So that's very exciting. Right.
Wonderful, thank you.
Good.
So then do we need to ask for the folks to be Rice for?
Yes, Ms. Kiernan, if you could tell them. I don't think we need to technically rice them because we're not employees, but we can just advise them that we're going to be discussing applications at this
I
session.
know that we have.
I've had in the past.
You have in the past where the council wanted to. I agree that you don't have to.
Yeah,
Okay.
If they're not employees, we don't have to.
It wouldn't be right, but it would be, you know, some form of just letting them know that they're, you know, we thank you for your, you know.
Yes, I think we can do that.
We discussed in closed session.
Thank you, regular. Because we don't rice our township manager candidates either, so we don't have to rice people unless they're active employees. Right? So you just tell them, here's, if you just want to inform everybody that's applied, the process is that we're discussing in closed session on executive session on this date and appointments will be on the agenda for September. Except Peter Schwartz, is now on the Soil Preservation Commission. Okay. For the public education, Peter Schwartz is the former mayor of Verona, so is definitely qualified to serve on that position. On this
With
beautiful
that-
historic house. Yes.
And that's an unexpired term ending 12/31/25 as a Class C member for historical preservation.
Excellent. Thank you. At this time, open public comment on any last item anybody wishes to discuss with the council. Corey?
Thank you again, Mayor, Town Council. I just want to say, thank you to the compromises and the pilot program. I look forward to seeing that. And I just want to urge in these last 2 meetings, I haven't said it, is that the rec committee is open to the public. We encourage all public members to come by. I would say 80% of our conversation, I think Councilwoman Holland agrees, basically on the pool. And we take that seriously and we go through every single recommendation and guidance we can and provide that information to administration and the town council. So we welcome all public members to attend. We have all great conversation where it was Everfield, and that was wonderful today. I'm just glad to see I couldn't make it, but we will go through every single topic and everything that's related to the recreational committee, also with the pool as well, to encourage residents to come and to give us feedback on topics they want to hear about and topics they want us to discuss, because we're happy to do so, because we'll do it in a manner that, in our committee is really a great committee. I want to thank all of them. It's a very diverse committee. We have members that are seniors, we have members that are young, we have members, we have 4 extraordinary women on the committee. Very, very proud of the committee and what we're able to do. So I encourage every pool member, please attend the committee please attend the rec committee meetings. We take them seriously and we try to provide the best recommendations as possible. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
I close public comments. And Corey, I throw that right back at you. And thank you for being the chair of that committee. I think it's what I appreciate the most about the rec committee and a lot of committees. It's something that I trust on a couple of committees that I was on, is providing written recommendations to the council that we can act on. That's very helpful. And suggesting policy is helpful, and the committee's really paving the way on that. So thank you for that, and thanks for being here. It's time I will hear the magic motion if anybody would like to make it.
Motion to close.
Motion to adjourn is made by Councilwoman McGrath. Is there a second on the motion? The second made by Councilman Roman. That is a non-debatable motion. Why would anybody want to? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The meeting is adjourned at 8:22 p.m. You never get to do that.
Let's go.
We think that is barely missed